We got a chance last weekend to run out like full kind of scrimmage mode. It's been pretty much what it was in the smaller sessions, just with regard to Marsh, Vanderbilt, you guys looking really good. What I've seen so far, I've been very pleased from an offensive standpoint, from a pitching standpoint. Excuse me, a couple of things defensively we've got to clean up a little bit just on positioning stuff. But other than that, I think it's going to be, we're about right where we want to be. So the biggest factor over the next few weekends, as we've talked about, is figure out those roles and what the pitching staff is going to shape up. A lot of capable guys. We just want to make sure we put them in the right way.
Do you have an idea yet of who's going to be the Friday night guy?
Yeah, I would say right now, Marsh. He's really consistent. Boyd's, pushing at him. We talk to those guys. I don't think it matters much on the. Well, they'll say to you, but I know you want to be the Friday guy, but they want to win. So they know every conference game, every game is important. But it's I think Alec has probably separated himself above everybody else on that. He's earned that spot.
Guys have said that he's kind of become like the leader of the pitching staff. What have you seen from him in terms of that side of his growth?
His work ethic is unmatched, really, by anybody. It's good when you see that. When you see a guy that not only has the talent, but also works hard, and he's having good results, and therefore earns the opportunity to be the Friday guy at Arizona State. I love that. He's also taken a really active role with some of the younger guys on the pitching staff, because I think what he recalls, if you ask him, is what it was like for him as a freshman, making sure and how important that was to have an upperclassman wrap your arm around you and say, hey man, here's how we do it. So he's done a really good job of that.
Cal was talking about possibly that third weekend starter being RJ. What have you seen from him early on?
Yeah, that's the one. It's for us, because the depth piece of it is, not bad, on the staff. So it just really depends on it. I think right now we're clearly Marsh, Vanderpool. If you have to use RJ, in a game that's really tight to get the Sunday, I don't worry about Sunday when it happens. But yeah, if in a perfect world, he's our number 3 starter. Tolman's probably moving into his heels. Brady Corrigan's been throwing the ball well. That's probably the spot that's going to shape up the most over the next couple of weeks, just a few weeks, just based on who's performing when it matters.
Are you guys still looking at Birds?
Or would you still like to get like Burzell into that spot?
What was that?
Could Corrigan close for you, or would you more like to get Burzell? Or is Burzell not ready?
Well, we won't know he's ready until we see it. Stuff-wise, it's there. It's like some of the guys we're talking about are guys that had to get their feet wet a little bit in college baseball. I think right now we would love to say the Burzell, because the stuff matches what you want at the back end. Until we see him with a 1-run lead, runner at second in this environment, I can't say. I will say this on Brady. Just last week, the velocity's up. I think he's fully healthy now. So yeah, he possibly could do that. But I think we're going to give Burzell the first crack at it, just because when he's on and that stuff is getting out of hand, it's different from anybody else. So it's tough to hit. But as you know, it's not just stuff. You got to have a mindset on that back end too.
Alec was talking about that the strides that Sam Ferry's made since he's come back. Do you anticipate him to kind of be the everyday catcher, and then possibly have him and Lyle switch up at DH?
Well, the exciting part for me, for you all, if I ever get excited, is the fact that you're going to see what a difference he can be. Sam makes the pitching staff better. He's like having another coach on the field. He understands it. I wouldn't say instinctively, because I think he's very cerebral, but he understands what we're trying to do. He's able to communicate that. He's very mature. We haven't had him for 2 years, and I think we see a difference right now, just how confident our pitchers are throwing it. That's not taking anything away from Lyle. It's just Sam's pretty good. We said that 2 years ago, Sam Ferry was a starting catcher, and through unfortunate circumstances, he hasn't been with us for 2 years. But as far as the DH stuff or whatever, and back and forth, right now Sam's our starting catcher. Lyle's more than capable backup, but it's going to be nice and luxury to have 2 of those guys. And then also, we had an addition in break and Nick Chima, who was here before. That was where I was the most nervous. Not that we didn't have good catching, it's just we only had two on the roster, and you're a foul tip, God forbid, 2 foul tips away from being pretty darn good and very average as a team. So Nick has come back, he's really improved. It's gonna, we're going to try to use him in roles too, where we can keep those guys rested.
And you mentioned his skill set behind the plate. Does that mean that there's going to be a limit of how much Cat is calling in the pitches?
Who's that?
If Sam Ferry is behind the plate, will that mean that he's going to call more pitches
I think
himself?
like anything, we give those guys some autonomy. I mean, we'll go over how we want to pitch guys before the game, go through the scouting reports. But Sam he does, of all the guys, he's probably as good as any of them. I shouldn't say probably, he's as good as any of them in calling the game and understanding philosophically what we're trying to do.
You have an impact too when guys starting to maybe lose the zone a little bit to help them settle down.
Yeah, he has a good feel. We're actually getting ready to watch the rules video with our team, but they got that new rule this year on the six defensive timeouts. So it's not like if you pick something out, you can run out there every time. But he's a coach on the field. He gets it, and it's going to be really neat for you guys to see it. That makes.
You mentioned Nick Chima. How have you seen him develop since his freshman year?
Just defensively, I mean, because we called him in at the end of the season and said, hey man, we're going to put you over to the mound. And he's got a really strong arm. In fact, he's probably the strongest arm out of all the catchers. But his receiving is better. He's comfortable in his own skin. And sometimes it takes you to go off and see other things, beside, before you realize it's pretty special. So our guys welcome him back as we did with open arms. He's a tremendous kid, and he's going to give us depth at a position that we don't need.
In that end of the series against Utah at the end of the season, he showed some flashes of power. He was hitting.
You mean that monster home run that he hit?
407 feet or something like
Yeah.
that. I'd have to imagine you'd be excited about the potential for this.
Well, it's like anything. It's consistency. I'd love to take those all the time. It's part of the game he has to work on offensively. But we were joking. It was like, man, you hit a bomb and then you leave us. What's that all about? But no, he's a good guy to have in the clubhouse. He's going to make our guys better just by being around him too. So.
Mike was talking to us about this facility. Can you just give us your thoughts on what this adds, not only from just a work perspective, but for recruiting as well?
Well, we had breakfast club this morning with some of our supporters that kind of get inside look. And so one thing we talked about, I think what's unique about this is not only do you see what's going on here, where guys are in here, Torkelson was actually at breakfast club today and talking about it. He told me what he was in it there at 9, 10 o'clock last night. So from a development standpoint, it's off the hook. But when you look at the Devil Deck, and this is what I think is unique for us, is what this facility does. And right on cue, Tom Collins, the man responsible for raising all the money for this fine facility, comes in, is that we have this, I think there's a unique relationship between ASU baseball and its fan base. And the fact that we have physically celebrated that by allowing them to kind of see what's going on and get an inside look is neat. And we dedicated the facility as you were here, and I said, how many coaches across the country are dedicating a facility like this, and they're doing it on their batting cage? Not many. So this is more than just a batting cage. It's for our players first and foremost. Don't ever, forget that. But what we wanted to do, and I think it's done a great job, is really blend, the whole fan experience too. So, and it's already paid dividends because these guys live in it.
And recruiting too.
Recruiting, I mean, we were. Our campus, we're not allowed to be there, but we hosted the positive feedback. PBR, Prep Baseball, did an event on our field this weekend, and just the comments when kids see this thing as a high school. This is unlike any other facility you've ever seen in the country. And even the people that we had kept intimately informed on, hey, we're building batting cages, until you actually get in, oh wow, this isn't what I thought. So it's kind of got that wow factor, which is what we wanted as well.
Early was saying that you guys might start the season at least with Torque maybe batting in the 2 spot in the order, and that you would use basically a different leadoff guy who's not going to be stealing bases because you don't want to open up first and stuff like that. When you have a guy like Torque, is it tricky kind of finding a spot in the lineup where you can maximize him?
Yeah, again, in a perfect world, you've got guys with 450 on base percentage or more, 2 of them and let him come up with guys on base. But I don't know. I think more important than who's in front of him is going to be who's behind him, because what he's going to find this year is people going to pitch to him. And I think we've got, particularly that guy standing right there, has had a really good year up to this point. If guys are getting done behind him, that's going to help him. But yeah, at the end of the day, we just get our best hitters to the plate as often as possible.
For Hunter and Carter, what's the next step for them? Because they've shown flashes, they've also been inconsistent.
Well, you said it, man. The word I was going to say was consistency. This game is about consistency. That's why they played minor league baseball for umpteen seasons before, because the guys play. He has, if that guy right there is doing what he's done in the fall and up to this point, we're a different team. And Carter has shown probably more sustained time of consistency, but they're older now. I mean, he's a junior program, a veteran player in the program. We expect him to play like a veteran, right, Carter?
That's right.
Do you have any
Carter is showing what you'd like to see in left field. You feel like he'll be your left fielder?
I just thought about him this morning about this phenomenon and wanting everything right now, and how even some of the recent departures of our program, guys wanting to play immediately. I think he's a living example of what we're hoping this place becomes. You shouldn't ever have a year where you got to play as many freshmen as we did. You hope that it's like every question, then they come walking in. It's perfect. So with him, you look at, he was kind of a little bit like this up and down last year, not real consistent, but he has developed through a great work ethic, a patience factor into a solid left fielder. And offensively, he's having as good of preseason as anybody we have. Getting on base, he's probably the guy that, if he can keep doing what he's doing, albeit it unconventionally, not going to go out and steal 20 bags, but if he can work counts and get on base, that's him. But what I like about it is he's kind of grown into that role. Last year, that was our, hey man, left field's going to be up. Right now it's his. He's earned it.
He's the guy who could maybe be lead off.
I think, because he works counts and gets on base, and we just need guys on base in front of that big guy.
If he can lock down left, you're pretty much set everywhere, right?
Well, I mean, but that's different, I think, in years gone by, as we've stood here at this very time 1 year ago and 2 years ago and said, well, we just have to see, we really don't know. Now I think we've got a pretty good idea. Ferry's your catcher. Ferry's your catcher, work with your third baseman, Woods, shortstop, Swift, Torkelson, Hopper, Bishop, and Aldretti. And then your combinations would be Aldretti moving into the infield and things like that. Lyle Lynn, here's a guy that's a freshman All-American that's proven he can hit in this conference for 2 years, and we're not even talking about him in that piece. We're saying that's our DH. So I think we're to the point where we want to be from a player standpoint, but as you know, injuries and things, it's a long season, but we feel like we have some options to overcome some of that stuff.
Early was talking about just with kind of the smaller roster size this year, the emphasis that you guys are going to have on maybe managing your bodies a little bit on off days and stuff like that. What goes into the decisions?
Well, any practice, just for example, we restructure our scrimmages. It's not a traditional 9 innings versus 9 innings. The way we split it up, guys are out there on their feet. So what we noticed were it wasn't a real game setting. So in other words, the guy's not coming in after 3 outs, getting off his feet and going to hit. He's literally standing out there for probably 45 minutes or so of the time. So what we've incorporated in our practice after a couple of rotations, literally stop for 2 minutes, let those guys sit down in the ground, out and stretch, because to give us real feel. But what I love about the numbers piece, and we say this, our motto now, strength in numbers. And I think sometimes people say strength in numbers by more numbers. No, strength in numbers by fewer numbers, because everybody here has a role. Everybody here you get focused reps because you're all going to contribute. And truth be told, I had somebody come up to me today and making a big deal about having a small roster. I said the small roster is not an issue now. The only part where it really affects you is like the practice stuff. So if I could do every year 35 guys in the fall and get it at 27 in the spring or whatever, I would do it. But you can't. So you know, I love what's going on right now. These guys, and it keeps that honestly that 25th, 26th man interested too. Whereas typically you're 34 or 30 through 35, those are your guys you're always mad at anyway because you're jacking around, you know. So it's actually it's a good thing, and we have, and it's not fake. We've embraced the whole idea of the strength and numbers thing. And it, quite frankly, it's something I may examine going forward anyway. Is you know, let's keep it a small roster because we really like them.
Do you have any injury concerns right now?
What's that?
Are there any injury concerns right now with guys in the roster?
Well, I mean, Cole Austin, you know, he's going to be out for a while, and Davis is going to be rehabbing. We don't know exactly the timetable, but probably probably 2 to 4 weeks on him. But other than that, I mean, I have no wood to knock on, so I'm not going to say it. So we're fairly healthy. Guys feel good mentally, they feel good physically. I'm just kind of excited to get it started, get it going.
Is Austin he battled a back injury?
Yes, he did. Yeah, I don't know what we're allowed to hold. That's he's not going to be with us this season. No, well, he's with us. He's just not going to be playing. I'm sure we'll get some official sign-ups sometime. Yeah.
Is there any chance that Carter could be treated?
Yeah, there is. And he wants to do it. He wants to do it too. I was talking to Breakfast Club today. I said, it's funny, you look at our wall in there, and the picture of Cole Calhoun is not hitting, it's him pitching. You know, I think what you have is there's an assembly of guys in there that all they want to do is win. These guys were all baseball players in high school, multi-position. They see that if we're thin in numbers anywhere, maybe it's on the mound. And if Carter's got to go in and give us an inning here or there, he's willing to do that, and it's pretty good. Oh, by the way, it's pretty good. So we'll be using him a little bit in scrimmages too to set that up. But what we're not going to do, you know, is get him in a whole mindset of being a pitcher. What he prefers, and quite frankly looks pretty good at, is coming off the mound and being a competitor and throwing 2 pitches for a strike, which he's doing. And if you do that, you're going to get people out. You go ahead.
So just on the
I'm
Austin
fine.
thing, like eventually?
What's that?
One more thing on the Austin thing, he's out for this season.
Yeah, I don't want to say. I don't want to say definitely, but we don't know. Like, and if that comes to be, and his desire is to, because of the circumstances of transferring here, he had to sit out last year on the transfer rule. His clock started. This would be the 5th year. I think we would, if he so showed, I think he would have a really good chance, or we would have a good chance to potentially get that year back. If the NCAA were looking at it.
So it'd be like an injury red shirt, he could get it back.
I don't know all the technical terms for it, but it would be our intention. He's a great kid. He's a very talented. That's the one that I'm bummed that you can't see what he offers, because he, much like Carter, bounces around all over the diamond. He's a middle of the order bat, but just unfortunate for him, he's not able to do that this year because of an injury. And if that takes a toll on you now, 2 years sitting out mentally. But I would say if he can come through this physically, which we're all keeping our fingers crossed, and probably more importantly mentally, then we would do everything within our power to try to get him that 6 year back.